All right, now we're going to go over a real quick video on the background packets. We're not going to go over the background investigation process for a couple weeks, but I do want you to fill this out and go through answering all the questions so that over the next several weeks we can schedule a meeting to go over it. It is a confidential meeting with no judgment, where you can ask any questions about any issues in your backgrounds that you may have any concerns with, and I may be able to assist you with those issues and how to prepare for them, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, real quick. First of all, never leave a blank. So, you are applying for a CCJ or law enforcement related career where you're going to have to fill out forms and do it thoroughly. The first form they give you is going to be an application and a background packet. And if you leave blanks, you are leaving questions as to, did you not know the answer? Did you not take time to look it up? Was there no information there? Or did you actually see it and just you didn't care? What'd you do? Whereas if you draw a line through, if you don't have an answer, you draw a line through the box, or you put NA for not applicable. Then there leaves no doubt that you read the question and there is no answer. All right. Remember, what are licenses, registrations, and organizations? So if they ask you, are you members of anything? Yes, this is your chance to join them. Now, some registrations, organizations do require membership fees. So understand that's not going to be, everybody's not going to be able to do that. Even $25 a year, that's expensive. But there are a lot out there that do not charge anything. So I highly recommend that you start looking on the internet for any CCJ related organization. There are tons of them out there. I've gone through a lot of them. There's IAWP, International Association of Women Police, IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police. There is an organization for everything. So look at them, and if you can, join them. It lets everybody know that you're up to date on all the information in the field that you're interested in. All right, next, be specific. If they ask a question, make sure you're specific. The boxes that they give you to answer questions are going to be very little. So if you ever, generally the guide is, if you ever answer yes to something, so have you used marijuana in the last 3 years? If your answer is yes, I always recommend saying C attachment 1, 2, 3, or C attachment A, B, C, and then you go to your computer and at the very top you type attachment 1, 2, 3, you start them in order, or A, B, C, you say question 10, you retype the question out, have you ever used marijuana in the last 3 years, and you detail answer. Again, you're going into a CCJ related field, and so you want this background investigator and the department to know that you take the question seriously. So you want to say, on this date and time, this is what I was doing. If, let's say, for example, that the question is, have you ever stolen anything of any amount? Let's say you went to Winco and you stole candy out of one of those bins and you didn't pay for it. You'd want to attach something that said, hey, when I was 12 years old or 13 years old, I don't remember the exact dates, but I remember I was with my parents. I was going shopping at Winco, and I was scared they wouldn't let me buy it, so I took a piece of candy because I really wanted it. I felt guilty about it ever since. I knew it wasn't right. So what you're doing is you're explaining what happened very thoroughly. You're taking responsibility for it. You never put the responsibility on somebody else. You always take responsibility for things such as that. And you say it's never going to happen again. When a background investigator reads that, instead of you just writing, yes, I stole a piece of candy, and now they have to investigate further, you've answered all the questions for them. Also, if you have any speeding tickets or you've ever have a police report that's written in your name, go get a copy of that. Go to DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, get a copy of your driving record. Get a copy of a police report that you were involved in of any type from the police department where it occurred, and attach it. Look at that background investigator is going to go, wow, this person is very thorough. Think how much that says for you. So now I don't require you to do that when you fill out the background packet, but what it should start sparking for you is, I need to do these things. I need to get a hold of these things because I'm going to be applying for one of these jobs soon. All right. Would you be rehired by your employer? So this is another question. I don't think it's question number 11 anymore because I've updated that background packet. This is really important. They look at employers. CCJ field. I have a lot of students that will always say, oh, I want to take a lot of classes, so I'm not going to work. I'm just going to take out loans to pay for my housing. And I highly recommend that you don't have to have a full-time job, but you need to do something. Even if it's volunteering 5 hours a week, you need to have a prior employer. You need to have people that a background investigator can call that knows your work ethic, knows that you show up on time, knows that you're confident, knows that you're a good employee. That looks better than nothing at all. Also, we don't always get along with those we work with or managers, and when we're young, we sometimes make mistakes. So if you have an employer that's going to say anything bad about you, let that background investigator know. Don't try to hide it. Put their name down, and when the question comes up that asks you if you'd be rehired, say probably that employer wouldn't probably rehire me because I had an attitude. I was on my phone a lot. I was young. I made a lot of mistakes. I learned, and again, take full responsibility. I learned a lot from that job. It would never happen again, and attach it. All right, jobs, references, prior addresses, make sure they're complete. Don't ever leave a zip code off. If you don't know a phone number, go get the closest thing to a phone number. Or if that supervisor's not there, put their name down, say they're not there, and call and find out who the current supervisor is. That's why these background packets take so long, is because they need to be complete. All right, when did you last delete or clean your social site? They're going to ask you such questions on these background packets. So this is just for everybody else to be aware out there. They can access them. They're going to ask for your passwords. The background investigator is going to look at them and what you posted and any photos you posted. And therefore, I always recommend, number one, not even having a social site. But if you do, be very, very careful that you use it more as a learning tool to stay up to date on what's going on rather than a posting of yourself, because it can only lead to you getting in trouble. If you do tell an agency no, you're not going to give them your information, most likely they're not going to hire you because they're going to be worried that you're hiding something. So be aware of that. All right, your past prior contact with police, again, arrested or warned. You want to get those police reports. I have had a lot of students who have been arrested, and a lot of them don't know what that police report says. You need to get that police report. You need to get a copy of it. You need to know what it says. You need to attach it to your background packet, and you need to attach an attachment that has your explanation of what occurred. All right, we already talked about if you've never worked. Volunteer, start doing something, start building your history. And finally, can you keep up with your present financial obligations? Be prepared. They're going to look at that. They understand that things happen. And so, for example, I had a student ask, well, what if I had a bankruptcy? Well, there are reasons to have bankruptcies. So you're going to want to get to the computer and give an attachment explanation of why there was a bankruptcy. Could it cause you some issues if you are late and you've had 5 cars repossessed and you can't get a credit card because you've had 10 credit card payments of $10,000 each you've never repaid? Yeah, if you don't have an explanation. Or let's say something medically, you're in a car accident and you couldn't work. That led to not paying things, which led to a bankruptcy. There's reasons. If there's a reason, you need to write that all out and attach it. All right, that's it.